Okay, have you ever stopped to think that maybe, just maybe, every little thought, every action you take could be shaping something? Well, something invisible, like an offering to your own future. Today we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating ancient Buddhist text. It's called the Gandhabbavaggo, which roughly translates to something like the section on sent beings or maybe celestial musicians, part of this bigger collection, the Sutta Nikaya, the connected discourses. And these are widely considered to be, actual teachings from the Buddha. So our goal today is to unpack these texts, these suttas. They give us this incredible window into a specific type of deity, and maybe more importantly, the very specific ways people believe they could gain companionship with them. It's like a map of intention and action leading to a particular kind of destiny.
Yeah, and it's grounded in a real place, too. These teachings come from Sāvatthiyaṃ, which was a major city back in ancient India. What's really striking, I think, is how meticulous these texts are. They don't just describe who these beings are. They lay out, step by step, how your actions, your intentions right here and now are believed to directly shape, your next life, your connection to these specific deities. It's almost like a formula, a very clear cause and effect.
Right. Okay, so let's get into it. These beings, at the center of it all, the Gandhabbakāyikā deities. The very first sutta, the Sutta Sutta, it kicks things off by introducing them. So who are they? What's the deal?
Well, the Sutta Sutta 1.1, it calls them Deva, deities, right? And their defining thing is that they dwell in sense. It's such a poetic sort of sensory idea. And it doesn't just stop there. It breaks it down into 10 specific categories of sense they're linked to. Things like root sense, heartwood, bark, even leaves, flowers, fruits.
Wow, 10 different kinds.
10 kinds, yeah. It even includes like essences or juices and just general odors. It shows this really intricate way of looking at the world where even smells were part of this, cosmic map. And across the board, all these different types, they share key qualities. They're described as being long-lived, beautiful, and abundant in happiness. So you can see why companionship with them would be a desirable goal.
That level of detail is just...
Yeah.
Something else, it really makes you think about how people back then classified their spiritual world, maybe mirroring how we try to classify everything today. So the long-lived happy sounds pretty good. How does someone actually get there? How do you achieve companionship with them? Is there like a basic path laid out? Maybe in that next sutta, the Sukharita Sutta?
Exactly. The Sukharita Sutta, which is 1.2, it gives you the fundamentals, the core requirements that apply if you want to be reborn among any of these Gandhabbakāyikā deities, no matter which scent group.
Okay. So what are they?
Right. So first off, you need good conduct. And it's specific. Good conduct in body, so your actions. Good conduct in speech, what you say. And good conduct in mind, your thoughts. That's the bedrock. Second, you have to actually hear about these deities, hear that they have these great qualities, long life, beauty, happiness. You need to know what you're aiming for.
Okay. So it's not just blind action.
No, exactly. And that leads to the third point. You have to form a really clear intention, an aspiration. The text puts it like, may I, after my body breaks up, after death, be reborn in the company of the Gandhabbakāyikā deities. So it's this mix, wholesome actions plus that focused desire. That's presented as the basic cause and condition, the hetu and bakayo.
That makes sense. Action and mindset working together. But, given how specific those scent categories were, 10 different types, does it get more granular than that? Do the text say, like, do this specific thing to join that specific group? Because that's where it could get really interesting, right?
Wow. Oh, absolutely. That's precisely what happens next. You look at the following suttas, from Mulagandha Sutta 1.3 all the way to Gandhabbakāyikā Sutta 1.12. They drill down into specifics. For each one of those 10 types of scent-dwelling deities, the pattern is the same. It repeats the need for good conduct, body, speech, mind, and the aspiration to join that particular group. But then it adds this crucial extra piece,
right? A
specific offering directly related to that group's scent. So, for instance, if your goal is the root scent deities, the text says you need to be a giver of root scents. Right. And if you want to join the flower scent deities, you need to be a giver of flower scents. It's this really direct link. Same pattern for heartwood, bark, leaves, all 10. The offering matches the destination. It's quite systematic.
So it's not just general good deeds anymore. It's targeted giving. Like you said, almost spiritual engineering. But, what if someone didn't have, special roots or rare woods lying around? That seems quite specific. Did the text provide other ways in? Did they broaden the idea of what counts as a valid offering?
Yes, they definitely did. And that's actually where the bulk of the remaining texts in this section go. It's quite fascinating how it expands, starting from around Anatta Gandhabbakāsaṃyuttaṃ 1.13 and going on for, well, quite a while. The text keeps showing that giving more general, everyday things also works. For each of those 10 deity groups, it says, essentially, practice good conduct, body, speech, mind, hold the specific aspiration for that group, A and D give one of these other types of offerings.
Okay, so what kind of other offerings are we talking about?
Things that are much more accessible generally. The texts list 10 common types of generosity. Things like giving food, giving drink, clothes, even vehicles or transport. And also giving garlands, perfumes, or incense, which is interesting, connects back to scent, right? Ointments, bedding, a place to stay or lodging, and even providing lights or lamps.
Oh, okay, so quite a range.
A huge range. It shows that lots of different kinds of wholesome giving were seen as effective for reaching these specific rebirths, as long as the core conduct and intention were there. It wasn't only about the specialized scent offerings.
That really broadens the scope, doesn't it? It brings it down to earth a bit, making it about everyday acts of kindness and support. So pulling this all together, what's the big picture here? For you listening now, what can we take away from this really intricate system of deities and paths, even if, scent-dwelling deities aren't part of your personal belief system?
Yeah, that's the key question. I think there are a few really powerful underlying messages here. First, and this comes up again and again, is the absolute foundation of wholesome conduct. Body, speech, mind, ethical living. That seems non-negotiable for any kind of positive outcome in this framework.
But that's the baseline.
Absolutely. Second, there's the incredible power attributed to aspiration and intention. It's not enough to just act. Your conscious focus, your desire to reach a certain state, is presented as a vital driving force. It really highlights how much importance they placed on where you direct your mind. And third, obviously, is the significance of generosity, Dana. Whether it's those super specific scent offerings or the much broader acts of charity, like giving food, shelter, light, generosity is clearly a key path. It shows multiple ways to cultivate positive karma, essentially. And just stepping back, the level of detail itself tells us something, doesn't it? It reflects this worldview that saw the cosmos mapped out with these specific, almost poetic sensory connections, which kind of leads to a thought: how might focusing on the quality, the fragrance, if you will, of our own actions, the intention behind them, how might that influence the destinations we end up creating for ourselves, in whatever sense, literal or metaphorical?
That's a powerful way to think about it. What an incredible deep dive that was. We've explored the Gandhabbavaggo, this ancient map linking conduct, intention, and generosity, whether specific or broad, to companionship with these fascinating scent-dwelling deities. The core ideas really resonate, though, don't they? Good conduct is the foundation, the power of clear intention, and the value of giving in its many forms.
Definitely. So maybe something to ponder as you go about your day is this. Think about the different scents, the qualities, the intentions behind your own acts of kindness or generosity. What kinds of connections, maybe ones you can't even see, might you be creating?